What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Are you getting stopped out in a lot of trades? Well, if so, I do have a new powerful setup which can definitely help you. I'm going to show you the power of iFVGs plus SMTs. If you don't already know, these are more powerful than the iFVGs I already take because there's another confluence on these. And if you're getting stopped out of trades, this might be helpful for you. So without further ado, let's get into the video and let me show you some examples of setups. So if you don't already know what an iFVG is, you need to catch up on my videos. You should know what an iFVG is. It's an inverse fair value gap where a bullish fair value gap basically gets broken. So in this example, there's kind of a couple. So this one, this one, this one, there's just a fair value gap. They all get broken at the same time. And an SMT is when we get a high on NQ that hits, but that same high in ES might not hit, or vice versa. So if this high on ES hit, but maybe the high on NQ didn't hit, that could also be SMT too. You can only get a bearish SMT at the top, and you can only get a bullish SMT at the bottom of a trend. So in this example, we have a high that's formed at 1948, and we have another high that's formed at 2020 or 2204. This setup here, we have a high that's formed at 1945, and instead of forming a higher high on ES, just like how NQ did, we actually form a lower high. Now, that doesn't mean anything. We need a setup to show you that it's going to mean something. So if we look at price here, right, I don't know at this point in time, if I go in the replay mode here, at this point in time, I do not know if we're going to dump. I see the SMT, but I'm not shorting yet. I need to see confirmation of us going below this inverse fair value gap. So if I play price, okay, that's when I see the confirmation. I'm like, okay, we got a bearish SMT. Now we broke this bullish fair value gap, so I know the bias is probably not bullish. Now you can take an entry here, or you can wait for the retrace. It doesn't really matter, and you can see either would have worked fine. And in this situation, we had these nice kind of smooth equal lows down here, which is also known as a double bottom. So this was a super nice target, and you can see price went right to it. So that is the first example, and that just shows you how powerful SMTs are plus iFVGs. This is an extremely obvious SMT. Those are ideally the ones you're going to want to be looking for. Here's a second example. So in this example here, you can kind of see we have a low here and a low here. And this low took out the low that NQ did not take out. Okay, so if you kind of draw a vertical line at both, here's the low on NQ, here's low on ES, and you can see that NQ did not take it out and ES did. Okay, so very clear there. Now, we got an inversion after, and this was textbook, because not only did we have an SMT, we also swept this liquidity and got like an instantaneous reaction here where it just instantly inverses the fair value gap like that. So you can just kind of see how good this is. And it was also an inversion on ES as well, right? And you can see it would have probably played out to 1.44R. And maybe some of you guys got stopped to break even this wick. That's okay too. But the idea of how powerful these are is what I'm trying to show you. Okay, so another very powerful model here. Last but not least, we have our final example here. We can see there's actually smaller SMT, but what I like about this SMT is ES makes a higher low and Q makes a lower low. What I really like about this is we're coming off of another fair value gap to the left. So again, you don't know that we're going to bounce off this in live time until you actually see the reaction. And then once you see the SMT, once you see this reaction, you're like, okay, this is likely to be a good inversion, or this is likely to be a good inversion on ES. And again, you want to mark both of these because you need to wait for both to break. And let's say that you think this is too big. Well, you could have taken this one as well. And you can see like it's all coming off an SMT that's delivering from here. So by these three examples, you can clearly see how powerful SMTs are plus iFVGs. If you ever are getting wrecked or you're just on a big losing streak, try waiting for an SMT as well. It should help you a lot, and it just makes the setup way better. This is going to be it for the end of the video. If you guys are interested in using my Apex code, there's 80% off sale. You can literally buy a 50K account for like 30 bucks, practice taking SMTs only. What I recommend doing is I would actually buy an Apex account, and what I do is try to do an account where you only take SMT plus iFVG, and then do an account where you just take iFVGs normally and see which one's higher. Okay, I bet you the SMT plus iFVG one will be higher, but you just have to be a little more patient. So that's going to be it for the end of the video. If you want to check out my free iFVG rating guide and how I rate my iFVG setups, just click the link in the description. And yeah, that's going to be it. Peace.